As Imam Ghazali concludes the secrets of fasting, he mentions that there are 3 levels to fasting. Number 1, he says, is the level of Muslims who are very basic in their practice. They suffice with the bare minimum of fasting. They simply abstain from eating, drinking, etc. from Fajr until Maghrib. That's what they suffice with. Imam Ghazali mentions the higher level of fasting is the fasting of Muslims who are elite in their practice. They don't simply suffice with this, but rather they abstain using any part of their body, any limb, in a manner that distances them from Allah. As they are fasting, they actively ensure that they protect themselves from anything that's going to distance them from Allah, and they only use their body, the limbs, the parts of their body, in activities that's going to bring them closer to Allah. Imam Ghazali mentions they protect their eyes from seeing anything that is blameworthy. He brings a beautiful hadith that our beloved Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam is reported to have said, "An-nadhratu sahmun masmumun min sihami iblis." The blameworthy gaze is a poisonous arrow from the arrows of Iblis. And the beloved Messenger continues, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, any person who abstains from this blameworthy gaze out of fear of Allah, Allah is going to bless him with such iman that he's going to taste the sweetness of that iman in his heart. Imam Ghazali says the elite Muslim abstains from using his eye as he is fasting in any way that distances him from Allah. Similarly, he doesn't simply not eat or drink, but rather he ensures that his tongue is not going to be used for any speech that's going to distance him from Allah. He's not going to backbite. He's not going to lie. He's not going to make false promises. He's not going to use any speech that brings pain upon others unjustly. Similarly, Imam Ghazali mentions he's very careful as he is fasting, especially careful as he's fasting in how he uses his ears. If someone is backbiting, he's not going to partake in it. Imam Ghazali mentions if one person is backbiting and you are that person's audience, you are complicit in this sin. You are his partner in the sin of backbiting, because that person would not be able to backbite if it wasn't for the fact that you are giving him your ear. Imam Ghazali says a person, the elite Muslim, ensures his ears are protected from any blameworthy speech, profanity, music, inappropriate speech, anything. A person is also careful in abstaining from that. Imam Ghazali says this elite Muslim protects every part of his body. This is the second level of fasting. The third level is the highest level of fasting, and probably the level that requires the most work and time to get into. He says this is the level of those Muslims who are the elite of the elite. What is it? As they are fasting, they don't just simply suffice with protecting all of their limbs, but rather they protect their hearts from being in any state, from entertaining any thought that's going to distance them from Allah. These are Muslims who are at such a high level, they have control or even over the thoughts that occur to them, the state that they are in spiritually. They protect their hearts from engaging in any thought, being in any state that's going to distance them from Allah. And these are people who love Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam so much that they engage in everything that's pleasing to Allah, and they do it for so long that then eventually they gain even mastery over their thoughts. That's the highest level of fasting. As we are entering the month of Ramadan, let's be very wary. Let's be conscious when it comes to the schools that we get into, the education that we provide to our children, the food that we eat, the jobs that we want to get. We want the best of the best school. We want the best food that we enjoy. We want that we have the highest paying jobs. When we have such a high standard for everything that we do at a worldly level, a temporary worldly level, why should we not have the highest standard aspirations for our afterlife? Even if we don't reach that level, at the very least, have a high standard, have high aspirations, and that's what's eventually going to raise our levels one by one.